So, what does the Trump victory mean for the stock market and your pension? Let's have a deeper dive and look into exactly that point. Right, this is what the likely outcome is. We've seen it already, a market rally. Why? Because we've got certainty, we got the results. What, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., it was pretty clear who was going to win. It's not dragged out. That's a relief rally in part, but it's also a rally for the other reasons I'm about to tell you. We've got certainty, we got the pro-business president, and quite frankly, I think a lot of people were as uncertain as the pollsters as to who was going to win. So there was probably a surprise element, a lot of money on the sidelines, waiting to enter the market once they knew which way the market was going to go. We're likely to get corporate tax cuts. Trump has already said this is a Republican. That's pro-business. That should lead to greater growth. Should be good for the stock market. Lower oil price. Why? Well, he's seen as somebody who has said, I'm going to put an end to conflict in the Middle East and Ukraine. So if it means less conflict, it should mean lower oil prices. He gets on well with MBS of Saudi Arabia. They're of a similar mindset. Again, that should mean lower prices. I suspect what he'll do is he'll say to Netanyahu, we need to cut a deal where you stop bombing and killing children, and Saudis, you step out of it and support what I suggest, and the Palestinians will get screwed. How do we know this? Because when they did the original peace process, that's exactly what they did. They said, get the Saudis on board, they'll put the money in, I'll stop the Israelis, Palestinians, you're just going to have to accept a deal. And that's what's going to happen, especially now that there is effectively no Hamas and Hezbollah to speak of. So you've removed the terrorist element to a large extent. Peace dividend, well, if there's going to be less conflict, and again, he'll sell out, if you want to put it in those terms, Ukraine, which should also mean lower oil prices. What he'll say is he'll come to some kind of peace summit with the Russians. He'd love a coup where he brings Vladimir and Vladimir together, Vlad and Vlad, probably in Iceland or Norway, because Trump wants the Nobel Peace Prize, and says to them, right, give up some of your territory because we're not going to support you. What choice have you got? And the Russians say, okay, that's that. And then he says to NATO, no more accepting other countries into it. So anyway, some kind of a peace dividend. The market sees that, market rallies. Each one of these points means the market's going up. Interest rates being higher. Now, that could be the one dampener. Why would interest rates be higher? Well, if there's corporate tax cuts and greater spending, don't forget the House and the Senate will both be Republican by the looks of it. So he's going to be able to pass through legislation. And as a result, fiscal loosening means the Fed will keep interest rates, i.e. monetary policy, tighter for longer. So those interest rates will be high. That could hit tech stocks because tech stocks are more sensitive to higher interest rates because some of them have a ton of borrowing, which drags out the ones which don't even have borrowing, such as the big giant ones. So that's the only sort of grayish area. However, the higher interest rates are a counterbalance to fiscal spending, which means the market would not see all that fiscal spending as a negative as much as it otherwise might have done. So again, good for the stock market. Tesla, well, definitely good for that. His best buddy is Elon Musk, and Musk is going to get whatever he wants because Musk was the only big person to endorse Trump. There wasn't another name. Deregulation of crypto, that's going to happen. Remember, Musk issued Dogecoin. I think I've spelt it correctly. That's coming, and Musk will ask for it. Musk is going to make billions out of crypto. Bitcoin's already hit all-time highs. Trump's going to probably, as president, issue a load of crypto coins. Remember, Trump's got a listed company, Truth Social, and that will probably rally, and he'll want to make, 4 years in the presidency, he'll want to make 10, 20, 30, 40 billion out of that. He wants to be a trillionaire, does Trump. Okay. Animal spirits. That amongst his supporters, of which there were 51, 52%, that's unleashed. They're ecstatic. They're not like the Labour supporters in the UK who are left, they're not sort of saying, yes, we're going to make Britain great, we're going to get out there and go for growth. That's not what Labour supporters say. What they say is, great, we can tax the rich more and put more money in the NHS. Nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is the animal spirits needed for growth, the Americans are driving, led by people like Musk. To a large extent, it's the animal spirits which the Brexiteers unleashed. But of course, Michael Gove saying we're going to go for growth is not the same as Elon Musk saying and being able to deliver we're going to go for growth. So the animal spirit side of things, the Americans are going to be spending on AI, cybersecurity, defense technologies, and they're going to be led by Musk on it because the rest of Silicon Valley, with the exception of Peter Thiel, turned their backs on Trump. So there's going to be some big government investments in these areas. There's going to be private sector stuff as well. Uh, Twitter now looks a cheap purchase for Musk because he opened it up for Trump, got him back on, gave him a voice. That helped turn the election as well. Deregulation of the energy markets. They're going to be digging for oil in Alaska, coal. It's all coming back, baby. Let's put it that way. What that means for the energy sector is not entirely clear at the moment. Should mean energy stocks go up. Immediately, all sectors have risen. Discretionary consumer have risen the most. That's part of the animal spirits, I think. Part of the perhaps increased spending, fiscal loosening. US debt to GDP will increase. Interest rates higher means the US dollar will stay relatively strong. You might think, as has Buffett for the last 40 years, that that the US dollar is going to weaken. It's not. They're going to come down hard on those who don't want to use the US dollar as a means of trade or remove it as a um, the default currency of the world, a reserve currency. So the dollar's back, and a strong dollar policy is back. Those strong dollars mean, of course, that they're going to make it expensive for people to buy their goods abroad, which they don't necessarily mind so much because it acts as a way of ensuring more made in America, which is what he wants. So it's a pro-nationalist agenda of America first, strong dollar. So that works out well as a break on some of the looser fiscal policies. Growth, they'll go for growth. The Americans, when I used to work in Congress, the Americans don't have a fear of inflation the way, say, Germans do or the British do. They prioritize growth, and that will again be positive for the stock market. So I think it's going to be amazing for the stock market. I'm thinking I'll be really disappointed if my pension's not up another 33% over the next 2 years. And that's me being conservative. Brilliant from a stock market perspective. I'm not talking social issues here. Like and follow for more. I'll go into specific stocks on this channel. When I worked in Congress, my thesis that I was working on was the importance of abortion in the appointment of Supreme Court justices. And in particular, I was looking at the Justice Breyer appointment. Abortion wasn't that important in this election. In the end, it was the economy and the working person. And the working person said, hey, you're not speaking to us. You're talking about elite values with your elite endorsements from your elite people. Now you might say, wait a minute, there's two billionaires. There's Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Yeah, but they managed to convey the impression that they're not. Elections are won on hope and feelings. They're really not based on the values that the Democrats seem to think they are, which is reason and people sitting down having an academic debate on the nuances and subtleties of liberal values, for better or for worse. As far as the stock market is concerned, all bets are off. Zoom is what we're looking at. Okay. As I said, like and follow for more, and there's a lot more to come. Thank you.